Yeah.
You run Kelly Youth Services.
Kelly Youth Services, you know.
Being a person of, stature with Kelly Youth Services, does that come into play ever? Is there some rough situations with these kids?
Absolutely.
Can you give us some of worst case scenarios and?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about some girls.
Okay.
So I do girls and boys. Kids from as young as 9, those 21. So there was a couple of issues going on in one of the female houses. So I went over there to facilitate a group. We talked about it, and one of the young ladies picked up. She was probably 14.
Okay.
Nice sized young lady. She had picked up a lamp, and she's going to hit another girl over the head with the lamp. So I had to grab her to restrain her to stop. So as I restrained her, grabbed the lamp from her to hold her down. Her buddy, and she was about a 200-pounder, and she jumped on my back. So now I have her around, I have to train. The funny thing, when I come home,
we're laughing now. But
we're laughing now. What laughing? So when I come home, of course my shirt is all like that. So I walk in, my wife's like, "What happened to you? I thought you went to the girls' house." I said, "I did." I did. I got marks on my face, and the shirt is all tore up.
She's like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, I did. They jumped me. So it's.
So you got quite a few of those situations.
Yeah, you know the situations now.
So how did you become? How did you? I know you talked about the history of being Kelly Youth Services, but and I'm sorry, I digress. I wanted to ask you one other question first. There was a point when the district attorney was reaching out to you during the President Obama's administration. They were going to release the nonviolent criminals,
the adults.
And they were looking to you.
Yeah.
To house them, to bring them back into society. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I did that. I did that for about 2 years. So what it was here, releasing nonviolent felons, and I would house them, and they would give them 3 to 6 months. And so what was going on in 3 to 6 months? You have to understand here at that time there were still laws on the books. First off, if you're a felon, you can't get housing. If you're a felon, you cannot go. If you're from Seattle, Central District, Kent, or wherever, you can't go back and live in that neighborhood. Well, that's all you know. Those are all your connections. So you can't live in.
That's part of the rule. That's a rule.
Federal laws. Yeah, that's a law. So not only the problem was getting these guys' housing, because they could get those guys that they wanted to change. They can get work, to find work, but when you wanted to go get a job and sign up, you couldn't. At that time, you couldn't get assistance to get food stamps, and that did change shortly. So at least when they first got out, they had food stamps. A lot of stuff. Being a felon, you can't get insurance. You can't sign up for a housing assistance. So they can get a job, but there was nowhere that they could live because they were not eligible, and then they couldn't live with mom, brother, because they lived where they committed the felony. So I'm trying to dude, this is not working, because here, and then at 3 months, 6 months, it's like, okay, if they don't have it there, they're cut off. So now you're just putting them back out in the street. So the likelihood of repeating was pretty good if they just weren't just totally self-motivated. That was the number one issue, was the housing. We could help get guys, help them find jobs and stuff like that. But
so did that stop?
Well, it got to a point where with me it's just kind of I'm bumping my head against the wall, because there's nothing I could do to convince the housing, or convince you as a landlord to rent to this convicted felon.
So you're going to the owners of the facilities,
trying to
working with the released prisoners. You're working with the distressed children. And again, I asked about your physicality coming into play, being an ex-Vol or ex-NFL player. Would you say that there's one group that's more difficult than the other? I mean,
the younger boys, teenage boys. The older, the men, that was just totally respectful. Never had an issue, never had an argument,
right?
Never, nothing. Those guys kept the facility clean. They're getting up, and they just wanted coffee. As long as I had coffee, they get up, house clean, go out, look for a job. Never had any kind of issue with them.
With the
but
boys,
the teenage boys, that've been in the streets, and whether or not it's drugs or just criminal activity, not going to school. Here I have kids that have fought the police. So if they fought the police has guns and handcuffs. I don't have none of that. So if they're not scared of that, they're not gonna be scared of me. So it's just kind of, it's being able to, verbally de-escalate situations. Give them, realistic situations. I'm a certified crisis intervention trainer, so I train my staff. Because nowadays you have more issues with kids having mental health issues. When I first started, it was really behaviorally challenged kids, kids who, criminal past, just out there, not just truant, didn't want to go to school and doing silly stuff. Now you have more kids that suffered, severe trauma. You have, more young ladies who've been sexually trafficked. A lot of kids been affected by the opioid crisis in the Midwest. The city of Hamilton, within Hamilton County, was the #1 opioid crisis in America, which is right suburb of Cincinnati. And so it's decimated some communities up there, and as a result, you've had a lot of kids that have been thrown in the system because most of my cases that have a relationship to opioid abuse, when it's not just it's everybody. If it's in one family, it's run rampant in the whole family. The mother, the father, the grandmother. There's nobody that the kid can go to, other than being placed in the system. So it's now it's just more training, patience, understanding, trauma informed care,
more employees. More employees? Does that make a difference? Or you have a budget?
Well, it's here. We contract with all the local counties, so with our contract, we're paid per diem per day. Now, if they've even upped the ante. Now, you just can't get licensed. You have to be accredited. They want staff to be more educated, more highly trained. So we've just went under. Now we've got accredited by the organization COA, Council on Accreditation, which is one of the best organizations in the United States. So it's just it made us step our game up because the level of mental health crisis is at a crucifix in the United States. Kids have. It's unfortunate. Kids are dealt some bad hands. And as a result, suffering, through trauma. And, I had a, 14-year-old kid a couple months ago, never had a birthday cake. At 14, nobody ever gave you a cake. Get out of here. You had a cake. No, I've never had a birthday cake. I give them the biggest damn cake in the store. It's yours. Everybody else, here's your cupcakes. Get it. So it's just kind of those things that we it was funny. I took a kid on a visit Tuesday, and I don't know if you guys heard of White Castle. Doesn't have them here. Yeah, White Castle burgers. Yeah. And White Castles. The burgers are 59 cents. It's like, I said, hey, you're gonna miss dinner at the house. You want something to eat? Don't tell McDonald's. Everybody else go, tell me somewhere you've never been. He said, I've never had a White Castle burger. White Castle?
Let's go.
Everybody goes to White Castle.
No.
Yeah, and I went in, and I bought him 6 double cheeseburgers, and he smashed them.
Every one of them.
Yeah, every one of them. So, it's those things. You get, you have those kind of stories, man, just kind of keep you going, with all the other stuff you deal with, and just my cousin Andre, he's on my board, just being able to provide direction for the organization. Reggie Williams is on board. Coach Jim Anderson, who was probably the longest tenured coach, one of the longest tenured coach in the history of the NFL. He was Bengals running back coach for I think 29 years, so he's on my board. So just. We're just trying to, we've been going. Cinco de Mayo will be our 23rd year, and we're trying to, go another 23, man. And keep doing good work.
The greatest right here,
Hey, appreciate
Joe Kelly.
it.
I couldn't be prouder to be associated with you. Thank you so much for coming out. And again, the greatest linebacker in the history of the University of Washington, nickname Ali. Just to be associated with you has just been a thrill of a lifetime. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Just for anybody ever mention that, nobody can say that. I can't. Yeah, Jimmy, I'm the greatest, Jimmy. But
we knew.
Yeah, but you have me coming in with Driscoll, and you look at Mike Jackson and Bruce Harrell. You look at
No, I'm sorry. It's I've always carried your torch, and then when you've got Dick Baird saying it, who's been there for 20 plus years, 2 to 3 different coaches, 4 different coaches, so it's official in our book.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it. Absolutely, Jimmy. Thanks, man.
We're gonna show some clips here.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice job, Joe. See if we can get some. Let's see what I got up here. Okay, let's. Why don't we show that interception if you don't mind, Joe? You don't mind us playing that, do you?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think. So we got J.C. Pearson was the play before.
He knew if he had kept his feet, he'd intercepted. Buckley to throw again. It's good defensive play.
Horrible call.
That wasn't
yeah.
Horrible call.
He did hit him early. He was playing the ball, but he did make early contact. First and 10.
Now here's a 4-2.
By Kelly and watch
4-2. See Peeps right there.
Number 11.
Yeah.
Full
Look at the angle 11 had on him. It is. Good call.
He just want to make little squeaky noises.
Look at him, he runs past him.
Yeah, he blew up his angle. He blew up his angle. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a 4-5 turning into a 4-3.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thanks, Richard. We're gonna see if we can get Barry Switzer getting chewed out by Joe. So Buster Rhymes, remember this? It bounced off his face mask.
Yeah.
And Buster liked to party.
Yeah.
So everybody wondered if that had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So here comes the play where I'm saying, get down, Joe. Please get down, Joe. He goes for him. Now where's Joe go from here? Straight to Barry. Straight to Barry.